I'm using here Windows 10. You can simply search here for PowerPoint to locate it and then hit enter. So on the left you'll have a listing of presentations that you have used earlier. You also have an option here to open prior presentations that you might have saved on your computer. Then here on the right hand side you have the option to start a blank presentation or to use one of those templates. Let's simply go and start a blank presentation to start with. Here on the very top you have these different menus. The idea here is that you move from each one of those tabs here on the top. Any of the basic functionality would be from the Home tab. Notice you have these different sections here related to font, paragraph, drawing, and such. Once you start making your presentation a little bit better and fancier, that's when you can go and insert additional components. Then you move into design, transitions, and so on. The idea here is that you have the Office ribbon on the very top with the different tabs, and each tab has different sections related to what you're doing in that context. On the left hand side you'll have the actual preview of each slide, so if you have more than one slide they will show up right there. And then in the middle area we have the content of the slide. Typically the first slide is your title slide, where you put the title of your presentation along with a subtitle, either your name or something related to that. So now with our first slide here, all that we need to do is simply need to type the content. So it's just a matter of typing in any of those boxes that already exist in your slide. Now to add a new slide, all you have to do is you click on New Slide here on the left hand side, and again we are under the Home tab, and then click on New Slide. Since this is the second slide here in our presentation, it looks slightly different from the first one, and that is because the first one was actually a title slide. If you wanted to change this design, you can use this layout option here and change it to a different type of design here. Here, put in the title for our second slide. And it's a matter of simply clicking on each area and just typing the content of your slides. Another way to add a new slide is also by pressing Ctrl M on the keyboard. Notice as well that there's a drop down here right below New Slide, and this is where you can choose a different type of layout. In some cases, if you need to move slides around, you can simply drag them from here and drag them up and down as you need them, and then come back to the normal view. Now let's suppose that this was a quick presentation that we had to do for a class or for a meeting or whatever. So basically we just add in the content here very quickly by adding new slides, and then you could insert a couple images that I'll show you in a moment. Now the images, and we'll cover those in more detail, but let's suppose that this is an image that we want to utilize from the web, and notice I'm just simply right clicking and then I'm going to paste it in here. And obviously we can resize this, move it to where we want it. Now we move to the next slide. So we add more and more content. Now we can present this, or we can see what it looks like so far by clicking here under Slideshow and then choosing from beginning. You can also present it by using the Slideshow option here in the bottom, and that will start the presentation. And then just click on either the spacebar or the mouse or the arrows here on the keyboard, and now we have a presentation that we can improve by using the additional tools that I'll cover shortly. Now to apply a design theme, you go here under the Design tab, and then click on any of those options right here under Themes. If you click here on the drop down, there are additional themes that you can apply. Pick any of those. Once you pick a theme, it will apply that theme to all the slides in your presentation. So notice it changed the font here for all my slides. Once we apply a specific theme here, notice that we also have those variations for this theme. And this is kind of new in 2016. There's this type of design here. It's changing the font and it's changing different components here. Notice the colors are changing and such along with the font. In PowerPoint 2016, the default is 16 by 9 rather than 4:3, which was a standard presentation mode. So this is where you change the layout for your presentation. And we have a presentation that we were working on earlier. We have slides with various content in it, or you can have PowerPoint 2016 give you ideas on the design for this slide. So all that you'd have to do is click on the slide that you want to change the design for it, and then click on Design Ideas. For certain slides, depending on the content and such, because we don't have many objects in it, it may not give you any ideas. However, if you go on another one, for example, creating an outline, here we have 3 steps for it. Notice Design Ideas. It presents us with a bunch of options that we can simply click on it, and it will apply it to our slide. It will change the whole design for our slide. Go to the next slide as well, and then click on Design Ideas, and notice it's giving us similar designs here. So we could simply click on this option or that, or either one of those that makes our presentation more versatile. If I go here and insert a new slide, and then I want an image that I copied from the web and such, notice as soon as I inserted the image here, it gives me additional ideas. For example, on this one, it's most of the slide here, it's going to be this picture, and then some area here to insert content. Or we can go here to different other designs that might work best for this scenario. To insert slides in a presentation, you can simply go here under the Home tab, and then we go somewhere within our presentation where we want to import those new slides, and then we go under New Slide. Here we click on this little arrow here in the bottom, and then scroll all the way to the bottom here where it says Reuse Slides. Now notice here it's asking us where do we want to get the slides from. So we can simply go here under Browse and then go to a file in your computer. And let's suppose you want to import from this one, Guidelines on Using PowerPoint. Click on it, pick the slides that you want to import. Now notice there is also an option here for keeping the source formatting. Click on it, click on the slides that you want, and basically the system is going to import and try to adjust the content accordingly for the presentation that you're currently using. And this is much easier rather than copying and pasting objects or content manually. Now I want to insert objects in the current slide. So what I would suggest that you do is go here under the Insert tab and notice that you have a whole bunch of objects here that you can insert. By the way, the process for inserting an object and tweaking it, it's pretty much the same for any of those. First, if you wanted to insert a new slide, notice that this option, it was on the Home tab, and it's also here on the Insert tab. So in this case, we click on Pictures, and then locate the picture wherever it is in your computer, and then click on Insert. When you insert it, then notice automatically the Design Ideas option comes up, and then we can pick a design from here. Notice that for any of those objects, if you click on the object or the picture, notice you have those tools that show up. The idea here is that you can apply styles to any of the objects here in the presentation. To apply a style here, you can simply just hold the mouse on any of those and it will give you the live preview. There are additional options here, and pick any of those designs from here. Now, once you have chosen a particular design, notice that you can come back here under the Format tab for this object, for this picture, and you can change additional items here. So let's say you don't like an outline for it. Let's say you want to change the effects as far as whether you want shadow and such, or three-dimensional components. You can all tweak it from here. So the idea here is that you are selecting an object, and then you are looking at the tools available for manipulating this